one's managing England, one's managing Wrexham, I think, something like that, to follow these conventions, both real life and in movies. Uh, Next, we will be talking about how some shots are representing some things, some aspects, some elements of the club. As you can see, the club is through these shots, the club is represented as rundown, failing, and also grassroots, because as you can see, there's clearly the facilities are in this shot. The stands are really worn down. There's cigarettes everywhere to resemble that it is a grassroots club. Maintenance is not well done, not because it's not well done, it's intentionally not well done, but because they might not have the enough resources to keep on maintaining it in the highest best condition. Manager has been presented as failing. Critics are represented as harsh. Now, our best, in my opinion, the best part of our sequence is the sound, and we have put in a lot of effort to try to create some authentic sound bites, and the critics we've taken from actual clips that fans or even just pundits have talked about different football clubs are very harsh right now. Critics are very harsh, and the manager has been represented as failing due to the actor's expression, the mise en scène, the camera, and also the sound itself directly talking about how the manager is failing. Now, Now, we also have slow takes and relatively small title sizes, allowing the audience to focus on the worn down stadium. This is pretty self-explanatory. We wanted to use shorter takes, not exactly shorter, but longer takes. So as you can see, slow takes to let our audience fully observe and immerse himself in our sequence to see each shot, because as I've said in my other tasks, our sequence uses really obscure shots, not because we don't have the ability to do very artistic and very by the book shots, but because it is best to show the pitch as authentically as possible, as we have such a good opportunity to show it. As you can see, these slower takes could show how run down, how dirty these facilities and the stadium actually is, and relatively smaller title size, which helps to for the audience to actually see the shot, which is very, in my opinion, very important. uh, how we use the camera. Close-up shots and obscure shots, as I've said, with different depths of field and framing were used. What I mean by this is when we film different, like as you can see, the bench, the the pitch, the manager, even the tap running, we use different depths of fields and different framing. So a tighter framing would be used for the tap, a looser framing would be used for the whole pitch in general. While close-up shots and obscure close-up shots for the manager, all of even some insert shots, as you can see. But we use this camera to again emphasize on how we want to show the authenticity of the club. We wanted to really let the audience discover the club and get to know the club. These shots themselves convey the message that the club is failing, the club is in turmoil, and is using the camera to convey these messages is really effective and important. Uh, Now, for the sound, parallel music was used. The score, which was produced by my with for some input with me and my friend Zach Schwartz, we made this brilliant soundtrack, which was, in my opinion, really suited music. It was very resolute. The music is considered parallel music as it parallels the scene's atmosphere, the tone. It's a bit sad. It's a bit dim, especially with the crown chanting and the commentary, which was very, again, very harsh, talking about how our whole club is failing, how players are not performing to their standards, and how that music in the background emphasized how much the club is in turmoil right now, and pose some enigma code on how will the manager and how will the players fix this situation. What will what could they possibly do to save the club? Finally, the stadium and the notebook are part of the mise en scène. Now, talk about mise en scène. I would like to talk about how we use the notebook. As usually, you can see top class managers have either nowadays they use iPads, but grassroots, we like to use like a notebook to write down tactics, to note down every single little detail about the stadium. And also, as you can see, the stadium itself was a really brilliant piece of our mise en scène. We were very lucky to get that, and it showed like it's not even conveying a message; it is the message. You could just observe our shots and just get to know the stadium, basically. Finally, for some theories, we believe that Jenkins' spreadable media is reflected within our sequence. This is very and highly relevant in today's sports climate, with the fan phone-ins. So we used in the editing suite, we made some of the clips distorted to resemble a fan phone into a radio station talking about his own club, and how right now, if something doesn't spread, it's dead, and how just in general how easily random person's opinion is shared onto the to the world, and how circulation of media is also relevant in sports, and is really relevant, as not just it is relevant within sports, but it circulates really quickly, and there's a lot of ways it could circulate, and how it affects the players, the managers, how it affects the fans, the club culture. All of this was really things we tried to dive into. As for the second theory, I would like to talk about Butler's gender performativity. This is quite straightforward. We adhere to some conventions that a manager is a being a middle-aged white man, which is primarily the case in world football right now, or even just other sports. Um, and yeah, it portrays sport as a masculine activity. Again, before I talked about the bold fonts, and it might not be the best thing for society right now, but it is what is happening, and this is what we chose to adhere to, and it is Butler's gender performativity theory. Finally, conventions. Again, yeah, we adhere to the convention that of underdogs, because they are the most compelling, they are the most intriguing sports stories. They are simply very easy and very direct, high concept to just convey to the audience. And the white men as managers, again, I've talked about this. Also, how it's a convention in Western media, and that is my presentation on how does my product use or challenge conventions, and how does it represent social groups or issues. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned a lot. Thank you.